the advent of the internet, we have so much information that we can turn to that it's really the new Gutenberg Press or Library of Alexandria with just almost unlimited resources.
Remnants of ancient civilizations hidden beneath Antarctica's ice, such as pyramid structures. Could there be temples down there?
In a German Nordic accent. We are taking control of your plane now. We will be landing shortly in the domain. You are in good hands. And sure enough, they landed him down, and these two tall Nordic-looking guys came out of the Flugerods and escorted him into the city, which was the domain of the Ariani.
Boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it. Quitting was never an option. Exhausted. This passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it. Nah, you cannot stop it. Quitting was never an option.
Hey everyone, it's Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. Welcome to another amazing episode of the Forbidden Knowledge podcast, and welcome to the show, my very good friend, Brad Olsen. He's a captivating speaker and author of 10 books, including his 3 in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric, Future Esoteric, and the newly released Beyond Esoteric. He's an award-winning author, book publisher, and event producer. His keynote presentations and interviews have enlightened audiences at Contact in the Desert, UFO Mega Conference, the 5D events, and dozens of radio shows, including Coast to Coast, Ground Zero, and the Patriot Underground. He's also appeared on Ancient Aliens, America on Earth, Beyond Belief, Book of Secrets, and The Truth Is Out There. He has traveled to 7 continents, including Antarctica by sailboat, seeking adventure and the answers to the mystery of mankind's past. He also has a show on Forbidden Knowledge TV called The Secrets of Antarctica. So welcome to the show, Brad Olsen.
Hey, Billy. Good to talk to you and be back on Forbidden Knowledge podcast.
Yeah.
And talk about all things esoteric.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been a good minute, and I'm glad to finally be able to talk to you again, even though we're kind of virtual. It almost feels like we're right there because the world has gotten so much smaller. But the last time I saw you in person was at the Forbidden Conscious Awards.
That's right. And I won a Mercedes-Benz, which I'm driving to Las Vegas tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Great. Nice.
Great car.
Yeah.
Thanks
beautiful.
for
I'm glad
doing that.
For you. Yeah. And I found out why we had 2 winners. I finally found out how we got 2 winners that night. So, okay. They had the seats in the upper balcony had the same exact seat numbers as the ground floor.
Wow.
That's crazy. We didn't know that. Now, last year it wasn't like that because we were on the other side of the awards. They have 2 different theaters.
Yeah.
The other theater, every seat's got its own special number. In this theater, there are duplicate numbers depending on where you are in the actual theater. So that's what happened.
Well, I put mine in too, so
it is what it is. Look, we gave away 2 Mercedes-Benzes. Everybody was happy. The other couple that won actually contacted us and asked us if they can have the cash value. So we told them, yeah, no problem. So we sent them the cash value of the car. They were extremely happy. We sent them a bank wire, and you obviously took the physical delivery of the vehicle.
Yep. Yeah. Love it.
Cool.
Thank you for being so generous.
No problem, man. Hey, listen, a lot of people have heard of you through our TV network and through a lot of the conferences and things that you've been to. But one of the things that people ask me, like, they say, well, how did he get into this? Like, what got you into this esoteric knowledge and this wisdom teachings and becoming a thought leader? How'd you get into it?
Well, probably in a similar way as you did, Billy, which is traveling the world and going to these sites in Egypt and Angkor Wat and seeing the incredible beauty and majesty and high technology that was put into a lot of these locations. And I started my career 30 years ago as a travel writer, and because I talk about and just the accumulation of knowledge you get from traveling, as you know, leading your tours, and the people that go on it come away so much more informed. And so really it was the traveling that set the tone, but really it's my curiosity in these subjects and knowing what is only known to a select few. That's what the word esoteric means. And just being like, hey, we have a right to know this too. And just digging deeper and peeling those layers off the onion. And it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper, as you know.
Yeah, man, I know. It just keeps going. And the more questions you ask and seek answers to, the more questions appear. It's like it's never ending.
Never ending.
Yeah. And what I like about the field that we're both in, there's no chat GPT replacement. There's no automated system replacement. Like a lot of this information just has to be acquired from firsthand research, putting pieces of the puzzle together. It requires a lot of conviction and dedication, and it has to be something that you're passionate about, because a lot of this stuff is dry reading or dry research. You have to really be passionate about this, and it's very expensive too, as you know, to do this and without sponsors. And so you have to be passionate about it. So we appreciate your passion for these topics and a lot of the wisdom and knowledge that you brought to the world.
Oh, thank you, Billy. And I would say the same for you and your research. I've read Emerald Tablets, found an incredible book, and your new titles and the other authors that you bring into Forbidden Knowledge Publishing. And I have CCC Publishing, which is my publishing arm, and got Laura Eisenhower, Michael Jaco, Leo Lyons-Zagami, and a lot of other people that are in this same subject as ours. So you learn from those people too. Mm-hmm. And it's a lifetime quest, really, to put the puzzle together. And while we have accumulated a lot of pieces and we're starting to see the larger mosaic here, still some work to be done. Still some things to uncover.
Yeah, I would agree. We're in the age of discovery, man, and everything is just being unfolded right before us. And we're fortunate to be able to live to the time frame of what the Hopi tribe call the web, the World Wide Web, right? Where information can travel to and fro, instantaneously. We're here. We've made it to this era. We actually are living in this era, and we can now shrink the world, and we can gather intel and information faster than any other generation before. So it's a great time to be alive. That's what I think.
The best. Nothing like it, because it's also the Great Awakening. And with the advent of the internet, we have so much information that we can turn to that it's really the new Gutenberg Press or Library of Alexandria with just almost unlimited resources. But you have to have your way about discerning what is real and what is not, because we know there's a lot of stupid stuff on the internet too, and a lot of hoaxes. So that's where intuition, I think, comes in. And as you piece this stuff together, I call them data points. When you try to find out some of these deeper subjects, it's good when you can add data points to build on that theory of what things are really made of.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk a lot about ancient civilizations in your books, in your TV shows, and your conferences. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about some of the theories that suggest that there could be remnants of ancient civilizations hidden beneath Antarctica's ice, such as pyramid structures. Could there be temples down there? Just some of your ideas and theories based on your research.
Sure. Well, your listeners know that I did an 8-part series called Secrets of Antarctica with Forbidden Knowledge TV. Available right now if you go on the website and check it out, where I went into the best data points, the best information about high-tech antediluvian civilizations. Yeah. And while my trip down there was just along the Palmer Peninsula coastline, many of these sites that I've uncovered are pretty far in there, pretty deep inland. And let's not forget, Antarctica is huge. It's bigger than the lower 48. Twice the size of Australia. So the distances are very vast. To go to a lot of these locations, put together this mosaic of information I found, and Google Earth has been very helpful. However, I've also noticed Google Earth likes to block certain things out. So they give us some really juicy nuggets, but then other ones are just a big white square that they don't even bother to airbrush around and make it look natural. Yeah. So there's definitely some secrecy down there, and there are no fly zone and other places that are forbidden, mainly because they're just so inaccessible. But to answer your question, what I found and put into the series Secrets of Antarctica is that there are perfectly right-angled grid, which look like foundations of a city. There's the potential of pyramids poking through the ice, and there is under ice civilization, as deep as the rabbit hole goes. But this is the giant hole in the ice, 50 miles from the South Pole. I've talked to Linda Moulton Howe's whistleblower Brian S. and other people who have seen it or know about it. Tazinski from Russia, and even Admiral Byrd's diary, where he said he was able to fly his plane into this hole, and then there's just this other world down there. And then eventually he went to this kind of an emerald city, but it was in pastel colors. There is pretty good evidence. And based on we're not even talking about underground, just under the ice, because Antarctica is the most volcanically active continent in the world. So you have all this geothermal activity and the propensity to create these large under ice domes, as well as chimneys for the hot air to come out. And that's what that hole in the ice is. And there are other very, very large holes, and we're talking miles across.
Wow.
So very, very big ecosystem. That's kind of what is really fascinating to me, is that there could be entire life forms that exist down there that have yet to be discovered.
Amazing. I know what a lot of people are thinking right now. The people that believe that the Earth may be a particular shape, they want to know about the ice walls. Now, you've been there in person. You've taken that arduous trip. It's a very hard place to get to. It's very time consuming. You've gone through and we have the video footage of you there, right? So What is your opinion about this ice wall?
Okay, well, a wall suggests that it's connected to the ground, right? From the ground up as a wall. The ice shelf, which are huge, they're about 30 stories tall, but they're floating on water. And that's what you'd normally see when people are talking about the flat Earth, that there's this ice wall. Well, it doesn't connect to the ground, and it is, so in some cases, hundreds of miles long. The Larsen ice shelf, the Ross ice shelf, if you were right up on it, you wouldn't see the end, right? So it would appear to be a wall.
Yeah.
But there are other areas of Antarctica that don't freeze. And that's where we went down several hundred miles along the Palmer Peninsula. It's also called the Antarctic Peninsula. It's that finger of land that is closest to the southern tip of South America. And we got a boat out of Ushuaia, Argentina, the southernmost city of the world, and did a 26-day trip down there. So I really try to avoid having debates with flat earthers. It really goes nowhere. But if I do, I pull out my phone and say, hey, you want me to just show you pictures of what continental Antarctica looks like? Because that's where they have to say Antarctica doesn't exist, that it's just the land beyond the ice. And every once in a while you can get through. Well, that's the continent of Antarctica, and I set foot on it.
Yeah, absolutely. You made it there. It's a huge continent. A lot of people don't even realize it's an actual continent. Like, they don't realize that Africa is a continent. I talked to some people the other day. They thought that Africa was a country. I was like, no, Africa is a massive continent, just like Antarctica.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on down there. It's a huge landmass with a lot of different areas with a very diverse ecological system.
I agree with you. I think after Antarctica, Africa is probably the continent that has the most amount of secrets still yet to be uncovered. You've got the Great Zimbabwe, the ancient gold mines of South Africa that Michael Tellinger writes about and has discovered, even a Stonehenge type stone feature called Adam's Calendar. So there's so much down there that shows that there was a high-tech civilization in Africa quite a long time ago too.
Yeah, definitely. With the inner Earth, there's a lot of people have inner Earth theories. I particularly believe that just from seeing some areas of the Earth that are open, like the Nika mine out of Mexico, where there's gigantic crystals in there, that there's these huge openings underground, and that maybe these are some of the areas where people may have taken refuge in the past. But I'm not too sure if there's a hollow Earth that where there's a central sun. I'm kind of leaning more towards huge, massive openings that could have housed potentially thousands, even tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people at some time. What are your theories on openings in the Earth and things like that?
And I do have a chapter in Beyond Esoteric. Here's the Nicaea crystal mine. You can see that person there, how giant those quartz crystals are, bigger than any crystal ever been discovered. And that mine was only opened 2 decades ago. So new discoveries are continuing also underground. Yeah. And I would agree with you. It's kind of hard to imagine or believe that there's an inner sun, but there does seem to be a light source in under the ice. And could that be just the light reflecting through? I don't know, because the polar plateau is about 2 miles thick at the South Pole. But we already know that there are deep underground military bases, 130 known in this country. So the propensity for them connecting to cave systems, which can be very, very old, as well as I call them legacy bases, alien bases like Dulce, New Mexico, even Area 54, where the tall whites reside. That was there a long, long time before the U.S. in the Nellis Air Force Base. And here's a map of all the tunnels. And these are just the known ones. And they've been building these things. This is what an entrance would look like. Find them on Google Earth. That they built them during the continuity of government during the Cold War. They actually brought over paperclip Nazis who were building Fortress Europe because they had very high technology into building these underground bases. Brought them over here and then started hollowing out our country. So not even going into whether or not there are civilizations down there. We know for sure that our government's down there, and they're massive. Some are 10 layers high and miles deep. I mean, these are whole cities under there that are intentionally built in the last 70 years.
Yeah. They call them dumps, deep underground military bases.
Yep.
And they're I think a lot of them are interconnected within the United States, at least, which is wild. And then they have these train tubes that go at Mach 2 speeds, and Emery Smith says he was on them, and they even go under the ocean. But what's really interesting right now, Billy, is a lot of earthquakes that are 10 kilometers down, which is the level of the tubes, as well as most of the single-story bases. So anytime you hear of an earthquake between 5 and 6.5 on the Richter scale that are 10 kilometers down, it could be that they're taking some of these bases out, because there are very dark things that are also happening down there, including these cloning labs we're starting to hear about. Wow. Amazing. Yeah, that's crazy. There have been talks of the destruction of some of these bases. There have been talks of stripping the stuff out of the bases and then, destroying them so that no one can get access to them.
Right.
And also, whatever machine they use, this vitrification nuclear-powered boring machine underground, supposedly could be one of the reasons for a lot of these massive sinkholes on the surface in different cities and areas. That is because of the underground boring that's happening beneath our feet.
Right. And there's certain areas that people are hearing these humming sounds and occasionally like an explosion sound, but far, far away or even underground, and then shaking that's not quite an earthquake. But here's an image of what the train tubes look like that can go at Mach 2 speeds. I mean, this is high technology. And by the way, it's free energy they use. They don't use carbon-based internal combustion engines that would pollute the tubes. So they're holding a lot of technology from the rest of us. And I hope this changes very soon, because we don't have to be polluting. This could very well change the course of humanity and clean up this planet as it should.
Absolutely. I agree with 1,000%. And let's take a quick break and watch the trailer for The Secrets of Antarctica by Brad Olsen.
And it's a reconnaissance expedition. It's going down to the South Pole area to make certain observations and to look for some bases.
We go into space because whatever mankind must undertake, free men must fully share.
Time will come when we'll have to go after that stuff there.
Meine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be.
Watch this video for free at www.4bk.tv or download the app on your smartphone, Fire Stick app, Samsung TV, Roku, and other app providers.